on the suit. Drink water. Don't drink and drive.
Game over!
Take it light. Okay.
Now you're more fluent.
Mackinac, he got three!
Up, Bears. So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Next. I'm Rickey Hampton, along with my great friend Paul Mokeski, Milwaukee Bucks center and legend from Milwaukee, not Milwaukee, Milwaukee.
You're back,
Mo,
brother.
it is so good to be back.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you, brother. It is good to be back. I missed you, and I missed talking to all the people out there. Rick and Mo are back and ready to take your questions and comments. It's been a couple of weeks. I was on the pup list.
You're on the IR with your.
Yeah, but I'm ready to rock and roll now, Mo. I've missed a lot, man. But I really couldn't wait to talk to you, to get your take, number one, on the Olympic Games, just as a former professional athlete who's played at the highest level, to see these guys, the best at their sports, whatever it may be, just giving everything for a little gold medallion.
It's not little, and it's nice. And I was listening today, and I've been watching the games. I'll take them and I'll watch them. And I'm telling you, this reporters that are there are saying this is the most talented, impressive basketball competition that's ever been in the Olympics and World Cup this year.
Wow. And that doesn't surprise you, right?
No, it's getting better and better. I mean, you look at the teams, I think there's over 50 NBA players playing for different countries in the Olympics this year. That's 12 teams, by the way.
Yeah, I heard 61 the other day.
Yeah, so, but they're, it's growing. It's only going to get more and more tough to win medals for anybody and to win gold for the United States. I'm telling you, 4 years from now in LA, all these teams, France and Germany and Serbia, and they're all coming, South Sudan, who did a great job this year, they're all coming for us. And, it's a different game. FIBA basketball is told, like Steve Kerr said the other day, this isn't the NBA. It's not the NBA. And that's in a couple ways. Referees are totally different. They don't give you an inch. They don't give key players calls like they do in the NBA. They let teams be physical. You watch guards coming down the floor, they're getting like the old 80s, hand checks and grabs and holds and reaches. And, and on the inside, physical play is kind of like the 80s were. And, quite frankly, a lot of our NBA players, they're not used to that. And to top it all off, it's only a 40-minute game. For people out there, there's a lot of people that have no idea, how different it is. And, they're thinking about the goaltend rule and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean anything. They're thinking about the shorter three-point line. That doesn't mean anything. They shoot from where they want to shoot from. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is the physicality and the shorter game. There's only 40 minutes, not 48 like the NBA. And that means that's 40 less player minutes to play.
So with 48, does 40 hurt USA or help USA?
It hurts USA because teams.
Why would a longer game benefit them?
USA is one of the deepest teams besides Canada. Most other teams are playing 8 players. That's it. So if you play longer, you get more tired. You have a chance to get more fouls. You have to sit on the bench. And it's just a long game is an advantage for a more talented, deeper team. And that's what the USA is. So a shorter game, I mean, hell, if I was playing USA, can we play a 30-minute game, please? That's what I would want to play because I can get hot. I can make threes and maybe we're ahead at the end. And that's a big difference. And, people are criticizing Steve Kerr for his rotations. They have no idea about basketball. You have 12 players. Everybody can't play in an NBA game. In an NBA 48-minute game, NBA teams have 9 players that play, maybe 10, maybe. I don't care how good you are. So in a 40-minute game, 40 less minutes per player. That means every position has 8 less minutes to play. So that you can't play everybody. Or you're gonna play guys that can't get in a rhythm because guess what? You just made a shot, but I got to take you out now because I got to play somebody else. An All-Star game. Listen, I coached in a lot of G League All-Star games, right? And what you do is you play everybody pretty equally until the fourth quarter, and you want to win. So that means you keep track of the minutes. So if this was an All-Star game, every player on the USA team would play 16 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
40 times 5 is 200, divided by 12 is 16.6. So everybody would play 16 minutes no matter who you were. No one would get in a rhythm. So, and the other thing is they're 10-minute quarters and they go fast. There's less timeouts. And players, you can't call timeout. Only the coaches can call timeout. Players can't call timeout. Only coaches. And there's only times in dead balls that they can. So the game goes a lot faster. So you got a team that you turn the ball over, you let them you miss a rebound, you get that, and they go down, bang a three, bang a three, bang a three. That's a 9-0 run before you turn around in 15 seconds. I saw teams make 12-0 runs in 32 seconds. Turnover, bang a three, and now the game is totally different. That's why you want to, make sure that every possession counts. And every point counts. Point differential, people in the United States have no idea what that means. That means that when there's a tie, the people with the best, that win them by the most in all their games, get a better seed. That is why USA is on one side of the bracket, opposite the other 2 best teams, Germany and Canada, because USA has the best point differential. That means that there was a last-second 3 in one of the games that put you up 3. I think the point differential difference between Canada and the United States was like 6 points over 3 games. So that's why that makes a big difference too. So it's a different animal playing in a FIBA tournament like this. And if you don't adjust or aren't prepared, you get bit really fast.
Yeah. Steve, hey Steve, thanks for tuning in and welcome everybody to Sports Fluent. And we got next, I'm Rick Hampton, my great friend Paul Mokeski, 12-year veteran of the NBA, coach in the NBA, scouted in the NBA.
Coach internationally.
Yeah, in the Olympics.
Coach in the Olympics.
He knows his stuff. But what we don't know is the cap you got on, Mo.
It's called Give and Go Sports. It's out of Phoenix. It's a player development program that a friend of mine runs.
Okay. Sounds good. Hey, Mo, you talk about the game growing. That's good for the sport overall, don't you think?
Sure. I think so. I mean, it's a worldwide sport. And, heck, even years ago, I did a couple clinics in China. And back then I saw some Kevin Garnett jerseys in China, and it's even more so now. I mean, and the NBA is doing a great job promoting it. They're all over the world. They have a league, the BAL league in Africa. Right. That's sponsored by the NBA. And now I hear they're looking to sponsor a European league with FIBA in the future because basketball, and as we know, talent is everywhere in the world. If you're good enough, they're going to find you. I mean, the last 5 MVPs of the NBA are not American players.
We're going to break down the bracket in just a minute, but I do have a couple of questions for you, Mo. Just for in general, basketball in general. Would you make that same comment about the women's game? Well, USA women have won 58 straight games.
The women
will they catch up with them too?
Yes, we had this talk a month ago about the WNBA and wanting more pay and benefits and all this stuff, which is great. However, the WNBA is a baby league. It's only 25 years old. The NBA is over 100 years old. So the WNBA is where the NBA was back in the 80s when I played. They're making what unless you were Larry Bird or Magic, they're making what I made. They're traveling on airlines like we did. They're staying in hotels like we did. So time is catching up, and it will eventually. Eventually, the NBA, the WNBA will have $1 million a year player. Eventually, they're going to have all the benefits. It's just going to take time, and the international game is the same. The women's game right now with the USA Basketball, great team on the women's side. They are where the Dream Team was years ago, where the Dream Team won games by 40. No one beat them. That's where they are right now.
Yeah.
But in the process, teams will catch up just like they have on the men's side, where I'm telling you, in 4 years, the USA men's team is going to battle for a medal. Their medal's not given in 4 years because the talent is catching up. In the women's side, it's going to be the same. Team USA women's in 4 years in LA are going to have better and more tough competition.
That makes perfect sense to me, Mo.
Basketball, it's like anything, right? It's cyclical. It's like, it's growth. It's like, my sons, they were kids, then they were teenagers, then they were young men, and now they're 30-year-old men, and they have wives, and it's a process that you go through. You can't skip over, and that's where basketball is. The women's basketball game internationally is where the men were 30, 40 years ago. And it'll catch up.
Great point. Hey, let's look at the brackets as we head to the quarterfinal. We got Germany and Greece. That'll be a fun matchup. Giannis over on the Greece team. France and Canada, they're all in Germany and Greece, France and Canada in one bracket. Serbia and Australia, they play in the other bracket. And USA and Brazil is in the other bracket.
Yes. So let's take Germany and Greece, right? Greece made it to the medal rounds because the point differential versus Spain was better. So that's how they made it. The problem with Greece is they have Giannis, who is one of the most impactful players in the Olympics. I mean, watch him play. He goes to the basket. You can't stop him. And he can finish. And now he's actually making free throws because guess what? He shortened his free throw routine like I told him to. Finally, listen. But Germany is the defending world champions from last year. They won the World Cup last year. They beat everybody, including us last year. And they have a really good team. They have a team. They have Dennis Schroeder, a really effective point guard. They have the Wagner brothers, one big and one wing. They both play for Orlando. They're very, very good. They got Daniel Theis, who played for the Celtics, and I think he's playing for Atlanta now. They got another kid, Andreas Obst, who is a knockdown, drag down, three-point shooter and makes threes from everywhere. And then they got some athletic wings. They're a good team. They're not as deep as other teams, but they're deeper than Greece. So Germany's going to win that game, I believe.
Mo, I saw Franz Wagner, when he was here at Michigan, and he was a good player. And here's a guy that they actually projected who seems to be projecting. Because I forget where he was definitely a lottery pick. And I'm like, wow. He might have averaged 14, 15 points a game at Michigan. But he has really come on, Mo.
Well, he's made for the NBA. He's made for pros, and he's made for international. He's a scorer. He scores from everywhere. He can post up, shoot the three. He can drive. He's athletic. He's playing with his older brother, so he's been around, a good player for a long time. So, Germany is a really good team. Most countries think the World Cup is more important than the Olympics. The United States, we don't think that way. We think the Olympics is the competition. But in Europe, and overseas they do not. And we send our JV team that got beat. We didn't even get a medal last year in the World Cup. We didn't get a medal. So, so Germany is really, really good, and they're capable of beating the United States if they play them down the road. But fortunately, in the other bracket, both Canada and France are very, very, very good. I mean, Canada has 10 NBA players on it. Canada might have the best backcourt, maybe even better than the United States. Who's the United States backcourt? Holiday,
And
Tatum.
the kid,
Say Tatum.
well, the guard from Arizona, from Phoenix.
Booker.
Yeah.
Okay, guess who Canada's is? Shea Alexander, second in voting in the MVP race as a point guard. One of the best point guards. Jamal Murray, a champion of 2 years ago, a great two guard, and Dylan Brooks, who is a mean son of a bitch defender who can make threes now. So who's really better, right? The thing with Canada, they have 10 NBA players. You got those three. You got R.J. Barrett, who's playing great. You got Dort from Oklahoma City, a great wing defender. Nembhard, who is a really good guard. Dwight, but the problem is they have no bigs. Dwight Powell and Olnick are their bigs, and those are second-rate bigs. If you put Giannis and one of their other 7-foot guys that Serbia has on the Canadian team, they would win the gold, I bet. How about that?
Yeah. By the way, Bogdan was the eighth overall pick out of Michigan. He was 6'8" at Michigan. Now they list him at 6'10", and he's great. I believe that.
No, you got the wrong one. That's his brother.
No, his brother is 7 foot. I got Franz. I'm looking right at it. I believe that he looks. I saw him play a lot.
I think he's about 6'8", but anyway, his brother's 6'10", I think. But but going down the list, then you have France, right? Who has Wembyamba, Gobert, defensive player. They got Fournier. They got DeColo, who is an NBA player. And they got Bantam, who's playing really good. So they have a really, really good defensive team. But I got to believe Canada gets past them. But the key is, when we talk about point differential again, USA they only have to play one of those teams, Germany, Canada, or France, only one. So they have to go through two of them to get to the medals.
Right.
And that's huge.
Well, okay, so you like Germany in the first quarterfinal over Greece?
Yes.
Okay. And Canada over France.
I have Canada over France. However, there's a little asterisk there because guess where they're playing the game at?
Right.
In Paris, France.
Yeah.
So guess what could happen? Foul.
Little home cooking.
Yeah, a little home cooking could happen. We'll see. But I still have Canada winning that, and then Canada-Germany game is going to be a really, really good game.
Hey, Mo, didn't you live in Paris for a while you played?
I lived for 5 months in Seoul, which is outside of Paris, yeah.
How did you like the city?
Terrible.
You didn't like Paris, France?
Rude people. Very expensive. Not for me.
Okay. How was the food?
It's okay. It's okay. I'm a meat and potatoes guy, though.
I
like pasta. I like baguettes. I like cheese. But I can get that anywhere. If you said, hey, here's a couple tickets for you and Linda to fly to Paris and stay for a week and enjoy it, or here's 2 tickets to fly to Detroit and hang out with Ricky, I'd pick Detroit and you.
Detroit.
That's the truth. We go to Greektown and oopah it up, and
there you go.
we go down to 8 Mile and hit an old Polish bar or something. We'd be good.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the other bracket. Serbia and Australia.
I watched Serbia play the other night, and they were really, really good. I mean, you think they only have the Joker, but they don't. They have uh, Jovic, who plays for the Miami Heat. They have Mikic, who plays for Charlotte. He's been one of the best guards in Europe for years and years, and Charlotte finally got him over. Really good guard. And then the guy that's playing really, really good right now is Bogdanovic.
Mm-hmm.
He is really playing lights. He's knocking down threes. He looks healthy. He's going to the basket, and he is a great teammate with the Joker. He's bigger, but he's filling the Jamal Murray role with the Joker. They're running pick and rolls and doing stuff. And then they got about 2 or 3 other big guys that are 6'11", 7 foot that play high level Olympiacos teams, and they're really, really good FIBA players. And they're physical. They know how to play. In Australia, even though they have a lot of NBA experience too, I think they have Josh Giddey, who was playing for OKC, and he just got traded to Chicago. He's playing really, really good. A great point guard. Josh Green, who's an NBA player. Patty Mills, remember him with the Spurs.
Yeah.
They got a big guy, 6'10", Jock Lawndale, who's he's a hustle guy like Harkenstein for the Knicks was last year. And
Does Exum play with them too?
They have Dante Exum and Joe Ingles. So they have a lot of experience, but I just don't think they have the talent and the depth this year as they have in the past. So I'm giving Serbia the edge, the way they played, the way they finished. Serbia finished their pool play very, very strong. Australia is a scraping team, just like Patty Mills. But if the Joker can stay on the floor, because foul trouble got him, especially against the United States, Serbia is at minus 28 points without him on the floor. And when he's on the floor, they're a plus. So if he can stay out of foul trouble against Australia and play most of the game, I have Serbia winning that game.
Hey, what you mentioned this earlier, and I forgot to ask you when you talked about it earlier. You said FIBA ball is not the NBA, and the style of FIBA ball. I mean, what is the big difference outside of the rules in the style of play of the teams?
The refereeing and the physicality. I mean, and watch guards pick up. When in the NBA do guards pick up full court? Never. Guards pick you up full court.
30 seconds left in the game.
They turn you constantly. They grab and hold you. They'll elbow you. They don't care. And they'll raise their hand and they'll take the foul and you take the ball out of bounds. And it wears on you. And they do it in a way that, gets under your skin. And if you let it get under your skin and you start crying to the referees who don't care, they're not NBA refs. They don't care what your name is. They don't care. Then you're going to be worried about that the whole time. I mean, they hand check. They just watch. It's so physical. And in pick and rolls, you can, just like in the 80s, you can stick your butt out when you set a pick or a dribble handoff. So, you got guards running into big bodies, after handoffs. And the other thing is there's a lot more action. Dribble handoff, pick and roll, back pick, pin down, staggered, all in one possession. So on defense, you got to fight through all that. And then they really crash the offensive glass. They just go for it. And, we have habits here in the United States. We don't like to block out. And that's why the United States team is last in the Olympics in giving up offensive rebounds. They give up 14 offensive rebounds a game, and that hurts them. So it's just a totally different game, totally different atmosphere. There's less timeouts. There's subs coming in all the time, in and out. So and it's only 40 minutes long, short.
Okay, let's get to Brazil and USA, Mo, and tell us, first of all, before you get to this game, your thoughts on how we have played so far, and what do we need to do to win it, and how can we blow this? I mean, because you said they can lose this. This is not a layup.
Yeah. No, absolutely. They can lose. They could lose to Brazil. I mean, it would take craziness. It would take a lot of turnovers, not being able to hit a shot, and then Brazil knocking down threes all around. There's a three, there's a three, there's a three. And then after that, offensive rebound, because Brazil offensive rebounds. So yeah, if you play funky for a little while, it's only a 40-minute game. If you play funky for a little while, you have less time to catch up, and they can pile on faster than you can turn your head around. So, it would take something crazy to happen, but it could happen. But it's not going to happen. The United States is coached by legendary coaches. Steve Kerr, he's won the gold with the Olympics. He's won championships as a player. He's won championships as a coach. Spoelstra, who's won championships as an NBA player, he has FIBA experience. Ty Lue, same thing. So, they're not going to – there's no surprises here. And the one thing about Team USA, they're all superstars and all-stars, but they're sacrificing their time, yes, but also their game because, these guys are used to playing 35 minutes a game. And the guy that's averaging the most minutes in a game in the Olympics is LeBron at 24 minutes. That's like a backup in the NBA. I play 24 minutes a game. So they're sacrificing for that, and they need to keep doing that. I think, Steve Kerr has gotten all this criticism. Why didn't you play Tatum? Why didn't you play Embiid? Why you can't? This isn't NBA. Guess what? These guys don't play for Steve Kerr next year. So if you're going to be mad and whine about it, I got a whole bench here that I could play, and they're as good as you are. I don't have to worry about you demanding, to go in the transfer portal if you're in college or free agency. You got to trade me now. I don't have to worry about that. So my thoughts are pure. I'm going to play the best guys on the floor that can help me win games, and he's done that. He's done that.
It's been the media and fans complaining more than the players about it.
Of course, because they don't know. They don't know. They've never been on a bench. They've never been a high level. Maybe they're coaching their kids in grade school. Who knows? Good, more power to you. But they don't know.
Everybody gets to play in grade school.
Yeah, everybody gets a bat in Little League. This isn't it, and that's what Steve's trying to. This isn't the NBA. This is totally different. And when they had their first meeting here, and a lot of those guys have played before, they know the deal. You're giving up 3 weeks of your time. It's precious, I know. But guess what? If you're not in this and you get mad that I don't play you, don't play. Go home. I got another guy to fill your spot. Just ask Kawhi Leonard. I mean, so they're buying in, but all the media and all these fans have no idea why you got to play 12 guys. No, you don't. No one plays 12 guys. I don't care how good they are. It makes no sense. You have to have a rhythm. Like Steve said the other day, I can't play my 5 best scorers. That makes no sense. Why would I do that? I need someone to pass the ball, rebound, defend, the 5 best guys. So I think they've been doing a great job. Everybody, well, Tatum, they didn't play him and beat it. Guess what they were doing? They were resting. So now, and he did such a great job, right? He didn't play Tatum. I'll tell you why he didn't play Tatum. I'll give you. You know why he didn't play Tatum?
Why?
Because in the first half, it was the first game of the Olympics, and Kevin Durant had not played 1 minute in any game yet, not 1 minute in any exhibition game, and he had played in practice, and he looked good. So we're going to put him in the first quarter, and guess what? He went ballistic. He had 25 freaking points. So guess where Tatum's minutes went? Instead of taking KD out, maybe after about 5 or 6 minutes, to give you a little feel, he let him play, and those are the minutes that Tatum probably would have got. People don't think about that. And then once the second half starts, I've been there before. I've been that guy, like in a blowout, and if I'm Milwaukee in a blowout, and we're up by 25 points in Philadelphia, and Nelly comes down the bench and says, "Hey, Mo, we got 2 minutes left. You want them or not?" Nah, I'll pass. I'll just wait, coach. No big deal. Happens all the time. And these players were told before the game, probably be ready, but you're probably not going to get in this game. And it happens all the time. So, But I think the coaching staff has done a great job. Their substitution's been pretty on point, and it's really a credit to, but also a valuable asset to have 12 unbelievable players, because like the other game against South Sudan in the first quarter, they were horrible. The starters were terrible. They were like they were sleepwalking. It was probably a noon game. So guess what Steve does? He puts his 7 team in, and they go like on a 14-0 run.
Yeah.
I think, I really, Embiid doesn't look like he's mobile, but he's a big body, and we need him. He's a threat in the post, and we need a player like that against the Joker in Serbia and all their bigs. They have other 7-footers that are just as big as the Joker, and we need him in games. Just like Steve had said, we're going to need everybody at some point in this tournament. And
You know what I think helps them too is that LeBron plays so unselfishly
and hard.
And I think he likes being able to just watch these guys do their thing.
He plays hard. He plays on. I was at the first practice. He had the most energy. He played the hardest of anybody in that gym. I was there, and he's still doing it today. Watch him play. He plays hard. And when, like in Boston, when Larry Bird played hard, everybody plays hard. MJ in Chicago, Magic in the Lakers, Sidney Moncrief with the Bucks. If your best players are playing hard, guess what you got to do? You got to play hard. Guess what? He has no ego. I mean, last time I looked, he was averaging 14.7 rebounds and 7 assists. Pretty darn good.
Yeah, in 24 minutes.
Yeah, and in 24 minutes, I think it's a little less now. But, they're just going to – I think they give up too many offensive rebounds. That scares me. I'm afraid Steph Curry has been bad. I mean, he's shooting 16% from the three-point line.
That's got to change, though, doesn't it, Mo?
It's got to, and we need it to, right? And, we just need him to pick up his shooting. And guess who was the best pickup ever? That was all
Derek White.
Derek White plays, passes, defends, blocks shots, rebounds. Guess why? Because that's what he does in the season. He plays with Tatum and Brown and Porzingis and Hall. He's used to that role. He just plugged right in. I'm going to do what I do with Boston. There you go, LeBron. Here's a bounce pass, Steph. Here's a lob, Tatum. This is what I do in the regular season. And he defends. He defends the bigger guards. It's just a great pickup. Oh, we should have it to Brown. No, he added the right piece.
By the way, they get Drew Holiday back tomorrow too. That'll be big. His ankle, he plans to play next game, and I just love the way he plays.
The guy that's taking the back seat, and rightfully so, Halliburton. Halliburton's an all-star, right? He was an all-star, and he's had to take a back seat, and no one's whining about him not playing, and he's happy. He was a big part of the World Cup. He, Anthony Edwards, were in the World Cup, and they were invited to come and play in the Olympics. And Anthony Edwards is doing great. He's doing his thing. Halliburton's not getting the playing time. He's not whining. He's cheering. He understands. Guess what? 4 years from now, he's going to probably be a starter. He understands that. And you know who else is playing great? Bam Adebayo. Yeah. Bam is just killing it. And you know why? Because he's playing the 4 next to Embiid most of the time. That's nice. It's a good fit. So, I like what they've done. They need to tweak some stuff. They've fallen asleep. They've let teams get leads in the first quarter. You can't do that moving forward. It's one and done now. And you let Serbia, you let Canada or Germany or France get a lead on you in the first half. I think South Sudan somebody had a lead on them of like 9 points at halftime in the pool play. You can't do that in the medal rounds because those teams won't let you come back. And they know how to preserve a lead.
Hey, Mo, I got a question. Why is it we can't play 3-on-3 basketball? That's the first thing you learn.
You got the wrong players. you have the wrong players. And I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know who picks that team. We were terrible in the Worlds. We're terrible here. I mean, they ended up winning a couple games at the end.
We didn't even make it in Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, my thought was they needed to bring four younger guys from the Big Three to play. Isaiah Briscoe, Corey Brewer, Chris Johnson. Those guys, they're used to playing 3-on-3 now, and they would have done well. I don't know why they should be thinking about that. I think I saw somebody say that is it Ice Cube who runs that?
Yes.
I think he's challenged the winners of the Big Three in the Olympics to come play his championship team, whoever that is, for 150 grand, winner take all.
Wow.
That'd be good.
Ice Cube knows how to promote that stuff, doesn't he?
Wouldn't you like to see that? Yeah. I would love to see that. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. But that's I have been, the women got beat, the men got beat. I'm like, come on, we could do better than that. We could do it. Although we gotta give a shout out to our friend of the show, Rick Berry. His son Canyon was out there just busting his behind, giving it everything he had out there. And,
he won a game on a little hook flip shot. Looked like his dad. I played with his dad.
He shot his free throws like his pop.
I went to the right and he flipped it over the guy and won the game with it. Yep.
He shoots the underhanded free throws, nothing but nets.
He makes them all. He makes them all.
Yeah.
He just needs other teammates, better teammates.
Yeah, my God. And well, anyway, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that for LA, Mo. Any other thoughts about Olympic basketball?
Well, I just think if people are watching, it's going to be tough because I think the first game is Germany, Greece tomorrow, 2:30 a.m. our time, and then it goes, I think, 4 a.m. and then the second group is in the afternoon. I think the U.S. plays Brazil at like 3 o'clock Pacific time or something like that. So I would really encourage any basketball fans out there to tape those games and watch them, because you're going to see some great basketball. And if you like the 80s and the 90s, this is that style of basketball. And there's some really, really, what there's less of? Dribble, ISO, dribble, ISO. There's pass, cut, move. A lot of dribble handoffs, picks, pick and roll the basket, skip passes for threes. There's all kinds of that stuff. And it's really exciting to watch.
Yeah. It's been fun. Hey, your thoughts on the Olympics overall, Mo? Just watching the games as a high-level athlete yourself.
Well, I mean, it's these athletes have been training for years and years and years, and most people say, well, they've been training for 4 years, and no, they've been training for their whole life. And it's a lot of the times it comes down to one event or one trial, and if you lose, you're done. That's why a lot of these events have semifinals and quarterfinals and pool play. So actually, you get to, even if you lose a game or a match or whatever, you get to keep playing for a little bit. But some of the efforts that's being put forward, and watching the families of the people that have seen them train for years and the sacrifice they made, like a swimmer getting up at 4 a.m. to go swim. And then come home from school and do their homework. And, hey, you want to go to a party? No, I got to go to sleep, so I get up at 4 a.m. again. So, all that sacrifice. I thought that's why, Steve, that's why you tape it, so you fast forward through the commercials, brother. Try that.
They got to make their money too, Steve.
Yep, but taping and fast forward, I don't watch commercials anymore. But the opening ceremonies was very interesting. It's kind of hit or miss. It was all over the place. They had a lot of different things going on. Celine Dion sang the last song, which was pretty impressive because she's been going through a lot of stuff. She's spent a lot of time here in Vegas, recovering from her from the disease that had taken her over, and to see her perform at that level was phenomenal. I don't know if I would personally dive into the Seine River the way it looks. I don't think I would get in there. I might have to pass on that, but they did it. You know, who knows what's in that thing?
Hey Mo, you've seen the real Eiffel Tower, and you have an Eiffel Tower in Vegas. Any difference in the two?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. I mean, I've seen the one in Vegas. Is that a close?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
The other one's much bigger.
It's about 1/10 the size, if that. Yeah, I mean, no, it's not, no. You got to go to Paris, then, Ricky. You can't tell people you saw the Eiffel Tower if you came to Vegas. It's not fair. I mean, yeah, I mean that one year, like, you know, I saw I was with the Spurs and saw the Golden Gate Bridge out of my window one year, and next year saw the Eiffel Tower. I was playing in France, but yeah, I mean, France. You're looking like you go to France or England or any of those places, all the history and the old, you know, you go in these old churches. You know, I remember traveling around France and going to the old churches. We had a person with us that was a very churchgoer, and we went to churches, you know, that had a sliver of the cross of that Christ was crucified on in it. You know, we went to churches that were, you know, 1,000 years old. We had, you know, it's just phenomenal. It's just amazing, these buildings, and Notre Dame, and you know, all these places that, you know, you go to Boston, they got some old buildings. They're like baby buildings next to these buildings. You know, that's like new construction. So it's phenomenal. You know, going to that kind of country and looking at their history and art, and, you know, seeing the Mona Lisa, which is about this big, by the way.
Hey Mo, just a little NBA news because we just got a couple more minutes. Jared Allen agreed to an extension the other day since we were off the air. 3 years, $91 million with the Cavaliers. Your thoughts on him?
Well,
That's a good move for them.
If he's healthy, I mean, he didn't hardly play last year, and he was hurt. He didn't play in the playoffs with the Celtics. He was having a great year, shot blocker, rim protector, rolling dunk guy, but he hasn't been healthy. I mean, that's the thing. I have a problem, you know, giving guys this kind of money if they're not playing. You know, it's really, hopefully their doctors understand and he's going to be able to play. But, you know, if you're not playing and you're making, you know, I don't know, what was he making now? 30 million a year? Was he making? I don't even know.
30 million a year.
30 million a year.
He didn't play in the playoffs, neither did Donovan Mitchell.
He didn't
two
play
best players, and the coach got fired.
Yeah, of course. And he didn't play in the Celtics in the playoffs either before he got traded. So, I mean, you know, more power to him. Get all the money you want. But, I mean, you know, it's tough walk around in an NBA franchise now. You got to get the right talent that blends with the right people, and also the right personalities. And then they got to be able to be healthy enough to play. That's a big ask of these teams.
Hey, I got a question here. Who would be the toughest out for USA, Canada or Germany?
Probably Canada. I think Canada is really, they're playing well together. They played together for a few years now. Germany maybe has a better starting five, probably because of their bigs, but you know, guard wise and wing wise, Canada's way better. The problem with Canada is they have Powell and Olnick as their bigs, so they don't match up with any other bigs in the tournament. So that's going to be tough. I mean, you know, that's going to be tough for them. So, but I think Canada is probably a tougher matchup.
Yeah. Steve says Snoop Dogg's doing a great job.
He's funny. See him put a fencing outfit on. Or,
he had a riding, an equestrian outfit on the other day.
Yeah, he went in some shallow pool with Mark Spitz and almost drowned, I think. He was so happy he got to this. But Hey, Steve, or anybody, you know, in the Olympics, in these competitions, you get pins. You trade pins with everybody. All different countries have pins. You know that, right?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Every country you have your own pin. When you see
Yeah.
them come together and shake hands, they exchange pins. If you see Snoop Dogg's pin, have you seen it?
No.
It's Snoop Dogg, and he's blowing smoke up in the air, and it has the Olympic rings in it. It's one of the most valuable pins in the Olympics this year.
I wonder what he's blowing up in the air.
It's hilarious. It's awesome.
Hey, Mo, we got to get out of here. Any final thoughts? Number one is it's so good to be back with you, my friend. It's miss being away, miss hearing your insight, and I'm glad we got caught up. And everybody out there, let your friends know we're back. I was on the DL for a couple of weeks, but we are back Mondays at 9 p.m. here on Sports Fluent. Any final thoughts, Mo, on anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, people who have no idea about coaching at the highest level, get off the coaching staff of the USA Olympic team and Steve Kerr. You have no idea. You don't play 12 players. I don't care how good the 12th guy is, and you don't have to. The goal is to win games, and you win games with combination of players that work together, play together, and you can't materialize magically these minutes, you know, and none of those guys, not Tatum, not Embiid, not Halliburton, want to play 2 or 3 minutes at the end of a game. They don't. So just relax, let them do their thing, and it's going to be a tough competition, great competition, and looking forward to it for this week. But let's hope that USA brings home the gold.
I have one final question for you, Mo. Have you seen enough of them to see what you think is their best lineup?
Yeah, I would say, let me say LeBron, Holiday, if he's healthy.
You like Durant coming off the bench?
Well, yeah, but he's on. If I'm putting the best team out there,
He's out there. Yeah.
AD, KD, LeBron, Holiday, and I would normally say Curry, but the way he's shooting, it might be Booker. There you go. How about that?
Yeah.
And or Tatum, along with Holiday, because they play together during the year.
If you thought Embiid was on his game, would he be in that?
Depending on who we're playing. If we're playing Serbia, yes, they have a bunch of 7-footers. If we're playing Canada, probably not, because he's going to have to guard Booker. I mean, Olnick, who's a spread the guy, or Powell, who's a 6'10" guy, athletic. So, you know, unless it's Serbia or France, he's playing a lot. If not, he's probably not playing that much. Sorry.
Yeah.
I would against Germany, maybe against Canada for sure. Maybe against Brazil. I'd rather have Bam as a 5.
Yeah.
And AD.
He has really become a good player. Damn.
And yeah, I mean, he's shooting threes. AD blocks shots. You know, he scores. He rebounds. I mean.
Yeah.
I wish I had that problem.
Yeah. Hey, well, we got to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are back. We'll be back next Monday with my great friend, Paul Mokeski. I'm Rick Hampton. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Take care.